Hey everyone, Tom here, Battle Rap Resume, back with yet another episode of the show. It's been a little while since I just sat down with, a battler that I'm a giant fan of and went through the battles, and I'm very excited to start this episode. So just before we kick it off with the guest, of course, follow us at Battle Rap Resume. Get in touch with me, battlerapresume@gmail.com if you want to come on the show, you want to discuss anything. Go back through the archives, leave us a review on iTunes, share the show. You may have noticed as well that I've been promoting my new podcast, Pun It, my competitive wordplay game show podcast. So search Pun It. I'll put the links down below for that as well. Patreon is there for Battle Rap Resume, of course, as always. Spotify, RSS feeds, wherever that takes you. So, today I am joined by a real legend in my eyes. Someone who not only has an ungodly freestyle ability and a solidified presence on syndicated television, but someone who is somehow getting better and better with two of his most recent clashes, ones we're going to talk about later in the episode, Rone and Chef Trez, being vaunted as the best of their respective years. I mean, this guy just keeps growing in acclaim and ability. His own battle rap resume, so to speak, must surely be one of the greatest ever. Returning to the show in 2 years or so, Triple C, Charron, how's it going?
Hey man, thanks for having me, Tom. That was quite an introduction you did there, man. I don't know anyone else who could have did a better one.
No,
I appreciate it.
Of course, and I mean it. I want if people need to go back and check out our first episode, which was like 2 years or so. And we went through all your history. I remember we spoke at length about the bar you did about the car crash in the high school and stuff like that, and all those classic stories. But I want to start with the gym's battle, and this battle was December 9th, 2018. We're recording this on the 10th of May, 2020, so about 17 months. And in that time, you've had 11 uploads, which is pretty much a battle every 2 months. How are you so consistent with your battling? It's kind of baffling how much you still put the work in.
Yeah, so I think the last one we did speak about was a Serious Jones one, and I do try my best for every battle. I don't have any excuses, but I've noticed from the input from the fans and just the general consensus, it wasn't one of my best performances or battles. Some people weren't a huge fan of it. And I think a lot of it had to do with the atmosphere. It was, almost 1 a.m. and the crowd was a little dead, but also the material wasn't the best. And this was right after I did the Wild and Out battle. So, when I got on the show, so people, I wasn't, I guess, as focused as I should have been. But since then, I took some time off, nearly about a year. And then, I've pretty much done a battle every 2 months or so. And I was just hungry. I was just ready to get back in the ring, and I did the gym's battle and got good reception, and I just kept at it and kept getting hungry each time. So I don't really know how I stayed so consistent through the last time we spoke, but I was just in the zone and wanted to put on every time for the fans.
And is part of it being on Wild and Out? Does that gird you? Does that train you in a certain way, just being able to perform on the spot?
It's definitely helped. I mean, there's some people, battle rap fans, say it's not good for the culture or anything, or some say it's corny, but it's put us in a different limelight where we have a different fan base, and we bring a lot of people to battle rap that wouldn't have watched battle rap. And also we're out there performing. We film 3 episodes a day, so I mean we're performing from noon to 9 p.m. or so, and you just got to be in your bag the whole day. You got to perform, take a little break, eat, get back on stage. So it really helps with battle rap, because it helps with the nerves, being consistent. So I'd say it's definitely helped me out.
And, we can't really watch it over here. I catch all the clips online and stuff, and it's so great to see what you guys doing. Just 2 months ago, the clip is Newbie Carter gets cooked by OG Charron, fire emoji. That's got 1.7 million views. That's more viewed than any battle you've ever done.
Yeah, it's super crazy. And, I mean, shout out to MTV, because I've never been called OG Charron, so that was a milestone in itself. Being called OG Charron, that was super fired itself. But yeah, they get a lot of views. The one I did with Conceited and I, we battled MGK. That is like 10 or 11 million views on YouTube. So it definitely does numbers, and it's just fun, man. It's a cool experience, and shout out to Carter Deems for getting on the show, man. It's always cool to see other battle rappers get their shot.
So if you were to just ask who's on Wild and Out, most people would say obviously Clips, Hitman, Conceited, yourself. So Carter's new. Is my verse on the show as well? Am I right in thinking, or she was on it for a bit, or?
Yeah, I forget if she did 1 or 2 seasons. I think she did 2 seasons, and as far as my knowledge goes, I don't think she was brought back for last season, or she couldn't do it with scheduling. I'm not sure. She'd have to speak on that, but she wasn't present for last season's filming, so I'm not sure if she's going to come back for the next season or what her deal is with it.
And do the producers look at you guys and like, okay, who else is a hot, like someone like Pat Stay, for example, just makes sense, I think, maybe to try out? Or
yeah, so Pat Stay did make like an Instagram campaign or a Twitter campaign to get on. He got like his fans to tweet at Nick and MTV, but it was a huge hassle to get me on the show because of the work visa and all the paperwork.
Right.
Like it took well over a year for me to even get on the show, and I still had to do an audition. So I don't know if they'd be bringing on another Canadian, just because it costs a lot more for them too to get the paperwork, lawyers and stuff. But they've had other battle rappers. I don't want to say which ones, and if they haven't publicly spoke about it, but there's been a lot of top tier battle rappers, like I'm sure they're in your top 5 or top 10 that have got auditions for Wild and Out and didn't make it. Like we'd be in like a workshop with them, and they're doing their auditions and stuff, and for whatever reason I thought they were great, but they didn't get on the show. So there's been a lot of battle rappers through the cycle trying to get on.
It's funny, one of the top comments on that clip of you and Carter, it's criminal that Charron doesn't have a best of video. Like you have a lot of hype. Like there's a lot of people on stage in Wild and Out, from what I gather. You have the 2 teams and stuff, like 20 people, but you always seem to stand out, it seems.
Yeah, I try to. Like I'm not, the way I look at it, like I'm on the show as a rapper, not a comedian. So there's some comedy games I kind of, dancing games for sure I fall back on, right. Like the singing games. I'm like, that's not me. Like, I'll let the comedian shine and stuff. But when it's for the rap games and the wild style, that's when I try to, I'm like, all right, like, let me handle business here. So I kind of know my place on the show, and like, the comedians, I'm like, I'm not going to do better than them. That's what they do. But then when it comes to the rap games, I'm like, okay, let me showcase my talent here. But then again, I've also done well in some of the comedic games and got airplay, so it's worked out pretty well.
And in terms of extracurricular stuff, I mean, it's all related to rap, but we have the Wild and Out. Of course, we have Bodied as well. And, a lot of battles we're going to go through today. Billy Pistols just gets brought up. Like, do you like get recognized through virtue of that, or is it more a Wild and Out battle rap sort of thing?
Yeah, I've never, ever been recognized as Billy. Like, the only time I've been recognized by Billy Pistols is, like, my friends that I haven't spoken to, since, like, high school or something. They watched it, and then they Facebook messaged me or Instagram messaged me and, like, yo, is this you? Like, in this movie here? So that's, like, the only time. But no one on the streets has ever recognized me as Billy Pistols. But I would say, like, I get recognized definitely way more from Wild and Out. People don't seem to know my name though. They're just like, "Yo, you're the white guy in Wild and Out."
OG Charron, yeah.
OG Charron. That's what I should say. We actually get every episode they embroid something on the back of our shirts or hoodies, whatever we're wearing. So it's a good idea. I should get OG Charron written on that now. But yeah, mostly that, and then a lot of battle rap fans too. But yeah, it's Billy Pistols. It just kind of took off. Like they nearly didn't give me the role. Like they gave me a call to do the audition, and I did a video audition. I think that they didn't really want to give me the role because it was supposed to be Billy Boondocks was who it was after because of the disaster fights. They didn't know if it would fit, but they gave me the role, and it turned out to be like some of some people say it was one of the funniest like side characters
Definitely.
in the movie. Like,
yeah. There's a lot of sort of bit parts and stuff, and even if you don't know who battle rappers are, like, I think like most people, I signed up for the YouTube Red free month and watched it with my girlfriend who isn't really into battle rap, but yeah, someone like yourself really stuck out. And what about acting? Like, are you exploring any other roles potentially, or?
Yeah, I signed to a talent agency called Maverick Agency in LA, and they've gotten me some auditions. I've never actually landed another role, but I got a really good audition for a Target commercial, which would have actually paid really well, residuals and everything. But unfortunately, I didn't land the role. But it was a cool experience. It was my first actual audition, like going in and doing a live audition. Like the bodied one was over the phone, so it was cool. And there's a lot of stuff I learned, like the blocking and where to look at the cameras in terms of like where you're supposed to stand. So I think I kind of blew it. Like I didn't do too well because I wasn't prepared as much as I should have been. But it was a good learning experience. I always find you learn the most when you don't succeed or fail at something. So hopefully after this whole pandemic is done, I could get some more auditions and keep the ball rolling.
Definitely. And just going back to the gyms battles, this was at the decade card, and obviously you've been there since Sandman, and we've spoken about the early days. Like, I loved how, I don't know if you felt the same way, like the editing on the battles, like how they did the old school graphics when you guys were introduced, like the grey freeze frame.
Loved it. Yeah, it was just a bunch of nostalgia.
And 10 years, like you were pretty much there from the beginning, right? From I remember, you were there like early days, King of the Dot.
Yeah, it started 2008, and I've been there since 2009.
Christ, okay, that's amazing. And I mean, Billy Pistols obviously gets mentioned in the gym in the gym's battle as well, which is his. I mean, time flies loud, as DNA says. Like, this this was Jim's last battle. And this is like 2.5 years ago. I mean, he had a good run on King of the Dot. Like, his personality was pretty engaging, right? Like,
yeah, I've always been a fan of Jim's. I thought he was good, and I just thought he was really entertaining. Like, him as a blogger, I think he's great, but he could battle too. Like, he was dope, and he had his props and everything that he'd pull out of his knapsack, and his slogan, "Stop being dirty." Like, I thought Jim's was dope, and I think it's maybe, I don't know if he's not trying to battle right now, but I'm pretty sure King of the Dot would book him if he was actively pursuing a battle.
Yeah, he seems to be on his like gym hype, doesn't he? He's lost so much weight. Like, I mean, props to him.
Yeah. That's why they call him Jim's, bro.
Yeah.
He lived up to his name.
There we go. Yeah. And so now you're back battling, as you say. There's been a bit of a break. You battled A-Ward at, what was it, World Dom 8, right? Over in London. And I wasn't there at this event, but I was there at Summer Madness 8. URL had been to the same venue, the Steelhouse. And a lot of people commented on the fact that, when they were there, it was this, just rabid crowd, queues around the door. And it was kind of half empty when you were battling A-Ward. Like, it seems like maybe Mass 2, the leagues were neck and neck. But fair to say the disparities increased quite a bit, hasn't it, in terms of popularity?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's even a question at this point. The URL is by far the most popular league. You could look at YouTube views and the amount of people coming out to their events. I do think King of the Dot is the most professional league and puts out a lot. I think like their cards aren't as big, but they deliver. Like, the expectations are lower, but they always deliver. And they follow a schedule for the fans, like release dates, so people like that. But the URL is absolutely killing it. They have the app going in.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that app?
So, from a business standpoint, I think it's genius because I'm not on YouTube, but as far as my knowledge goes, the more swearing you have, the less advertiser money you're getting. And battle rap, I mean, it's hard to find something with more swear words or more vulgarity. So from what I've heard from a bunch of league owners, the YouTube money is still good, but it's not what it once was years back. So the fact that they have an app and they're getting money coming every month is perfect for them, especially right now when you can't really be throwing events. So they have a lot of battles in the vault. But also as a battler, I don't personally like it because the only thing we kind of have to boast about, like quote unquote record sales, is our YouTube views. Like, you know, if you hit 1 million views, it's like going platinum. Like we just got another 1 million view battle, and it kind of does hurt the views in a sense with the pay-per-views, and then they have the it's on the app for 6 months, and then also your fans don't really get to see it right away either if they don't have the app. So like I was really looking forward. I saw it live, Pat Stay versus Suge, and it took like a year to hit YouTube. So it kind of like takes away from the hype a little bit. Like, oh yeah, this battle, I forgot about that. That happened a year ago. So it has its ups and downs, but I think from a business standpoint, it's great.
Do you subscribe to the URL app?
No, I'm not on the app, to be honest. I mean, I think it's a great idea, but I'm not on it.
And why haven't you been back, considering the Suge battle was so celebrated?
They've messaged me to come back. The crazy thing is they hit me up to do a double impact maybe like 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I didn't see the message. Like it just was in my DMs, and I guess I was getting a lot at the time and I didn't see it. So I was unfortunate. I don't know what they had planned out. And then they hit me up to do what is it called? Like a band legacy. It's the small room battles.
Yeah.
They wanted me to battle Drugs. So I mean, I turned it down just because, like, even though it's on the URL and it's the big platform, it's like I don't really care to battle Drugs. I think he's good, but it's not a big name. So I told them, I was like, I appreciate the opportunity, but if I'm going back on URL, I want it to be a Suge caliber opponent because people are going to be hyped for me to go back on the URL, and I don't want it to be a step down from what I did on my first battle.
You've been talking about Mike P, right? You want to battle him?
Yeah, I'd battle Mike P for sure. He's dope. Like pretty much anyone like that's on a caliber of Suge, which I consider Mike P.
Oh yeah,
he's definitely one of the best.
And the A-Ward battle itself, like people were very excited for this clash. It's highly debated. I mean, I've got you winning personally. I've got you taking it 2-1. And not to say that A-Ward wasn't great, and he's definitely one of the most excited talents to come out of King of the Dart and beyond. And what he's done is incredible. Like, how did you see the battle? How did you see it play out?
It was good. I personally scored it 2-1 with me taking the first and third, and him taking the second.
Yep.
That's how I scored it, but I mean, it's funny because people were saying I was ducking A-Ward, but I just know how to draw hype to a battle. So if, he calls me out and then I accept the very next event, it's just like, oh, that was cool. But when you draw it out for, a few months, I only drew it out for 2 events. Like I didn't battle him for the gyms event. And then people are like, oh, he's ducking, he's battling gyms. But, I was just like, I don't want to just step in and battle right away after he calls me out. I want to make it seem like it's not going to happen, and the fans are like, oh, like Charron, A-Ward's not going to happen, and then boom, it happens the next event, and people are hyped, like, oh, I never thought I'd see this. So yeah, it was cool. I thought I won, but I thought it was really dope, and it got nominated for Battle of the Year.
Yeah, and it always made me laugh in A-Ward's third, where he was sort of questioning your King of the Dot credentials, and he's like, who headlined Glove Up 2 in Detroit? And I was watching that thinking, I do a Battle Rap podcast, I don't bloody know that, you know what I mean? It's like, why is Charron supposed to know that? Like,
yeah, I mean, if Tom doesn't know it, then no one knows
exactly, it. Exactly. I was just a bit baffled, but but still, I thought A-Ward was great there, and it was cool to see Oxy there, and you sort of getting him involved with the flip in the third.
Yeah, like it was cool. Like I just saw him on stage and threw in a little flip, but just I think it was like a Russian Trump president. Like it wasn't like the craziest thing, but when you're in the moment, it's kind of hard to formulate something really intricate, but it was cool. Added something to the battle, and yeah, it was an interesting battle. I think A-Ward did extremely well, and I'm happy that the fans were happy with the final product.
I mean, it's unfortunate, isn't it, that the title on King of the Dot, so many repetitions are happening and so many rematches, and A-Ward is next up, but do we really want A-Ward Real Deal after seeing Real Deal Chiller for the third time? You know what I mean? It just feels a bit monotonous. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's gotten to the point where, like, a lot of the top matches have already happened. So I think rematches are going to be happening. But, yeah, it's cool. But the way I look at it is, like UFC, like, the top guy is the champion. Like, he's the best. And, like, in King of the Dot, the top guys, at least popularity-wise, is, like, Pat Stay and Diz. So just, like, if they're not gunning for the title, I almost, like, don't really think the title makes sense or really matters because you're not the best in the league per se. That's no shade to Real Deal or A-Ward. Right. I'm even counting myself in that. Like, if Pat Stay, Solomon, Big K, Diz, if they're not all gunning for the title, then what does the title really mean? Mm-hmm. And that's how I look at it right now. So when I make, like, people always ask if I'm going to make another run for the title, I'm interested, but, like, I also want it to be a big match. Like, me versus Real Deal is a match I would definitely want to do, and I think he's excellent.
Yes.
But, like, if the top guys aren't gunning for the title, to me, it just doesn't really make sense. And do you see where I'm coming from with that?
No, definitely the legitimacy of it. Yeah, because stuff like that, you know, eventually you get Poe Rich as champion, which no one wants. I mean, shout out to Poe Rich, but, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you want it to be the Champions League, as it were. And you battled Real Deal in a 2-on-2, right? That's the only time you battled him before.
Yeah, we robbed him for sure. Him and Fresco.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were with HFK, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I admit my losses. I admit my robberies. Like, we robbed them, but it was the judges. It wasn't us. Like, it didn't. Me and HFK's material did not age well. We may have won at the time, but if you look back at it, they smoked us.
Okay. And I think one battle you can fairly say you won because your opponent even admits it at the start of the 4th round is you versus Big Cannon.
I'm out your league. I don't go to warfare. I'm taking off the crown. They want gun bars. I ain't gonna claim my buckheads to cater to the crowd. If I want them, if I don't want to claim my buckheads to cater to the crowd, I ain't gonna claim my buckheads to cater to the crowd. If I want them dead, I'll pay some from Buckhead or Decatur in the crowd. It's Billy Pistols, the gunslinger, terror squad. You a punch figure, bar after bar, blacking like a drunk sliver. SWAT come to the crib, I'm a young hitter. Haven't seen this many Big Macs in a White House since a Trump dinner. You scared I can make prayer stop. Anyone around me can get the pick. Airdrop. A cannon's outdated. I got bear glocks. I got a ratchet so old, it's about to start stripping at Claremont. That's Billy.
Now, when this was announced, this was just so inspired because you're both just, you know, so exalted for your freestyle abilities and off the top, etc. And people were really looking forward to this clash. Like, this must have been one that you were quite excited for just on a personal level.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Big Cannon, and it was, I think it was 2 weeks after my A-Ward battle, so I literally wrote my 3 rounds on the plane ride back from England. I was going to England to LA, actually. I did a commercial with Nike and Foot Locker, so I did 3 commercials for them, so that was really cool, and it was a long plane ride. I think it was like 10 or 11 hours or something, so I wrote like 3 rounds for Big Cannon. And then I was excited to do the freestyle rebuttals too. And we just spoke, like, when ARP hit me up and said he wanted us to battle, I was like, why don't we do a 4th round freestyle? And we didn't even know it was going to be like 4 bars back to back. Yeah. We were just like, maybe it's like 90-second rounds each. We just said, let's do a 4th round freestyle. And then it just kind of happened where we went 4 bars back to back and we were going off momentum. Like, it was kind of a free for all. Like, sometimes we do like 6 bars, 2 bars, 4 bars. It was kind of like you land a haymaker, I go, like, you know, just go off the momentum and reaction. So I thought it was cool, and it inspired a new wave because, like, there was Isaac Knox and Dallas Cash who did that on Ground Zero, which I thought was amazing. And then it led to another battle, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, me and Trez. And there's a lot of people right now, like, I don't want to spoil the matchup, but there's a very big name in battle rap that wants to do a 4-bar trade-off with me now. So it seems to be like kind of a wave right now. He just wants to do that like a 1-rounder 4-bar trade-off, not the 3-round battle, but still would be pretty cool.
And talked about RBE working with ARP. Like, how was that? I mean, I've had the guy on the show. He seems like the utmost pro.
I mean, I couldn't say one negative thing about him, bro. Like, he's just a solid guy. Nice guy, about his business, throws great events, and loves the culture. Like, he loves battle rap. Like, he's not doing this for the money. He actually just loves putting on battles and just loves the culture. So nothing but respect for ARP.
And you talk about just loving the culture, and that so comes through, especially in the 4th round. And it's great that ARP at the start says, I've never said this before, top of the 4th. And, like, just the reaction that both of you, like, there's times when you seem like almost giddy, like you're like jumping up and down, like at the bar stuff, like the Hillary email thing, like that just turns the room over.
Yeah, it was cool. It's just a different type of energy because they're watching something that is being created right in front of their eyes. Yeah. And it's so scary to do that. I was scared to do that because, like, I freestyle, not every day, but, like, sometimes I'll freestyle by myself or cypher with someone. And some days I'm still good, but some days I'm just not on point. Like, it's just one of those things where some days, like, I'm like, oh my God, this was, like, the best freestyle I've ever done. Like, I was just crushing it. And then some days I'm like, yo, I just don't have it. So it's kind of scary thing to do. It's almost like any freestyle will tell you too. It's just like you just kind of have to be in the zone and be ready to throw out haymaker after haymaker. So it was definitely a scary experience to do both times because, like, anything could happen.
And talking of freestyles, I don't know if you saw this. This just happened a few days ago. Watsky broke the world record for world's longest freestyle.
Hell yeah, I didn't actually watch the full thing, but I tuned in a couple times.
Yeah, me too.
Really, really dope. Good for him. I think he did like 26 hours or something.
Yeah, he did. He beat the record of 25 hours, 56 minutes, and he kept going. So at the time of this article being put, he's still actually going, so it's a little outdated. But, I mean, yeah, it was crazy. I cut to it, and he just had a dictionary in front of him, and he was just going word by word. Because I guess, obviously, you can't just literally go off the dome for 20 hours, can you? You've got to have some sort of catalyst, I guess.
Yeah, I think when I tuned in too, I think he was reading a dictionary, but I think the hardest thing about it is just the vocal cord strength it would take.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I think if anything, my vocal cords would give out before my mind did. So that was really impressive that he was able to do that.
Didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, yeah, again, the big cannon battle. Such a fantastic battle, like, great event as well. What else do we have? B Magic performed there. Math Hoffer versus Heavy Huff, which is kind of, everyone was like, okay, he battled Hollow, so he kind of owed ARP this battle to battle Heavy Huff. But, like, he brought it there as well. Like, the whole event was good.
Yeah, it was a great event. It was definitely a solid event.
And, moving forward then, I've only sort of clicked through this battle, so I can't quote any bars, but it's quite a unique battle, you versus Scotty. So this is on Houston Barcode. The atmosphere is crazy. It's a 1-rounder. Now, can you explain to me, I didn't quite understand why, pretty much everyone's wearing headphones in the venue?
Yeah, so it was a silent battle, so it's just all connected through the headphones. So, like, we have the mic, the lapel mic, and it's just connected to the headphones. So when you put the headphones on, you actually hear it better than you would, just sitting there without the headphones. So it was a really cool event, and it kind of is a good segue because I met Scotty at the Big Cannon battle, the RBE event. So he battled, who did he battle? I think he battled Ill Will.
He did battle Ill Will, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I met him and I was like, yo, I've been a fan, like, you're dope. And he let me know. I didn't even know he ran Houston Barcode. And he's like, yo, we want to have you out for a 1-rounder, battle me, just like, DNA did. So I was like, all right, for sure. And yeah, that was my next battle. He brought me out there and it was a cool time, bro. He showed me around Houston and then we went to the URL event the day after. So the way he does it, it's called like home, and
That's
then
right, yeah.
Gnome is right after. So we got to see Lux, Battle Verb after, Surf, cool. Geechi, Pat, Shug. Like, it was real dope event.
And what's it like when you go to a URL event? Are you swamped by people? There must be loads of people coming up to you.
Yeah, like both events, like the home event and the Gnome event. It was cool. Like, people are just fans. Like, a lot of people try to make it seem like the URL fans are only fans of the URL, but like, they're battle rap fans. It's, it's like they're loyal to the URL platform, but they rock with other leagues too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the next clash that was announced was so exciting for me personally on Crack Liberty Battles. This is you versus Twork.
You battle like, ASAP, you battle like every week. We hate that. Damn, you battle like every week. We hate that. Damn, that shit got old real quick. FaceApp. See,
we have a movie. That was good, though. That was crazy.
He seen me versus Tay. That's why he ain't hoodied up. You don't want to fight, fam. Get a good shot from a right hand. There's a confrontation. Ronald Reagan, your hood rocked by a white man. See, wait, you gonna pump me? You gonna pump me? Hey, you gonna pump me because I'm a nerd that's skinny? I'm gonna do him worse than Nitty. Man, he said white boys can't jump. Dirk Nowitzki.
And from what I gather, this was like 6 days prep or something?
Yeah, I think it was 6 days prep. Like, he was supposed to battle Reed Dollars, and then Reed Dollars couldn't do it because I think he was on house arrest, is what they're saying online. And Zim hit me up and was like, yo, can you battle Twork on like 6 days notice? And like, Twork's a beast. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I guess so. But I'm like, man, he's going to be way more prepared because he probably has a bunch of Reed Dollars stuff that he could just use against me, besides the name flips and personals. He probably has a bunch of material. And like, I usually have my material memorized 1 week to 10 days before an event. So like, I'm usually like able to recite it perfectly 3 times in a row. Usually like I wake up, I do my material 3 times in a row. And then before I go to bed, I do it 3 times in a row, each verse 3 times. So that's usually how I like to be prepared for. So just starting writing 5 days before an event, even though I could freestyle, I was like, oh man, this is crazy. I remember like, I even had to tell my girlfriend, I was like, yo, like, I'm ghost the next 5 days. Like, I'm just like in my room writing, like, I'm sorry. So I was like, literally all I did for 5 days was like watch Twork battles, write, memorize, prepare. And then like the battle gods didn't even want me to get there. Like, everything was delayed, like for my traveling and stuff. I had to sleep in a airport lobby overnight, like there and back both times. Like, it was just like all my shit was delayed. So I was on like no sleep or anything. And then Twork was driving up and his tire popped. And like he didn't even make it to the event. It was after the event. Like, the shit was just about to close down and Twork just made it. And we threw it, like, we just did it in time. So that was cool. Like, it was just so last minute, and I like the way it turned out.
Well, yeah, I mean, looking back, so again, if we just use a Serious Jones battle as a touchstone for the last time that we spoke at the start of 2018. So on Twork's verse tracker then, you have like the Ill Will battle, the QP battle, like he was getting hot, but when you were battling him, like, he's just exploded, hasn't he? Like, he is one of the guys, like, what a proposition.
He's literally one of the best, and like, his energy and his delivery is just crazy, and standing in front of that, it was definitely tough to match his presence and delivery.
And am I right in remembering that you guys recorded a watch with Avo of the battle like the next day or something?
It was the same day actually.
Same day. I love that happened. That's a great idea from him.
Yeah, it was really dope. We went out, grabbed some dinner, and then did a watch.
Oh man, watch as well. Like, again, this existed when we were doing our old episodes sort of thing. But another thing, from Avo that's just grown and grown, hasn't it? And I think helped people appreciate battle rap at a higher level.
Yeah, watch is dope. Like, I almost prefer watching the watch than the battle sometimes. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
It's cool. Like, especially when they have good guests. I think Immaculate is a great guest on the show. He's always very technical and breaks battles down. And like, Hollow's always funny. And Avo himself, Avo's hilarious too. Like, Avo's really funny when he's watching battles. So the whole platform is just great. So shout out Ruin Your Day.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they do a lot of their, one-off battles and stuff like that. Would you ever be interested in doing something maybe on the rooftop? Or, I know it's hard at the moment, but...
Yeah, I mean, I would... If it made sense, like, if it was something I was motivated to do, I would definitely do it. So it really all depends. But, like, I wouldn't want to do a battle that people are hyped up for. Like, let's say me versus... Real Deal or Solomon or Diz. Like, I wouldn't want to do it like, to take away from the potential battle, but I would do something for sure if it made sense.
I mean, we're seeing that with Twork at the moment, aren't we? Because he just battled K-Shine on Caffeine, and I know needs must. It's a different context, but it's just a bit disappointing. It kind of takes away from the eventual Summer Madness battle in a way.
Yeah, I didn't even know they battled Twork and K-Shine.
Yeah, they did. About a week ago or so. So, I mean, by all accounts, it was okay, as these sort of quarantine battles are. And what did you think, ultimately, about you versus Twork? How did you judge that battle?
It was good. I haven't seen it in so long. From what I remember, I think I won round 1 and 3, and he won round 2. But, like, the highlight... I think the best verse of the battle was his second round, and the best bar of the battle, hands down, was when he turned the lights out and did the blackout King of the Dot.
Is that slightly gimmicky to you, or do you let that slide?
I love gimmicks.
Yeah, who am I talking to? Yeah.
I think that shit was so dope that I was like, I wanted to bring, because when he did that after, I'm like, Avo, you did me dirty. Like, you turned the lights off so he could get the haymaker, and I was joking. He's like, my bad, bro. Twork asked me. And then, like, I was joking, but I'm like, I'm going to get you to do that at my next battle. And then I actually hit him up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm actually going to do that in my next battle. just so I could say fair play.
And talking of stars, of people that have exploded and people that are just regarded as some of the greatest ever, Rum Nitty.
They say he's the GOAT puncher. He had one that really moved me. Against Tax, who said your sister's the biggest groupie. She gave the whole town dome like the Simpsons movie. That bar flames. But how you gonna steal a line I used against Arcane? Those bars bitten. I give a fuck when you start crippin'. Out of principle, I'll give this Seymour problems and Bart Simpson. Your girl lets every Mr. Plow. It's a nice old job. She rakes in more with her head than Sideshow Bob. That was my line. Why'd you take it though? Stole my idea, now I'm lighting Rum up. That's a flaming mo. Just shutting rum down like Rex Banner. The right hit like a sledgehammer. I got something for every left-hander like Ned Flanders.
The next battles against Nitty in Massacre. Where do you personally rank him in terms of all-time greatest punchers?
Punches, I rank him as the best. I mean,
yeah.
I think there's what's a good analogy? Like there's levels to it, but there's also like a time and a place. So I think the greatest of all time for their era is Conceited. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Conceited's punchlines for his era was way above what like Nitty's doing to people right now. And then I think like B Magic kind of took the crown and was the puncher for a bit. And then it seems like in the last couple of years, it's been Rum Nitty. So I think personally of all time, Rum Nitty is the best puncher, but I think for his time and era, Conceited like did the most and innovated the game the most with punching.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you battling Nitty then, like, again, like I love how King of the Dot are giving you these great matches. I mean, of course you deserve it, but someone like Nitty is just, I mean, like I say, people regard him as literally one of the greatest battlers ever, any era, and I'm with them. Like he's just like some of his punches. They just magical almost. Like they just make you they make you reappropriate battle rap. Like they're just so original.
He's just super dope. Like I think in that battle, like I'm trying to remember it too because I don't really watch them too much after they're out. But
you have like the Angelica flip on his rug.
That one was cool. I think probably I would maybe edge that one to Nitty. I can't remember. Like I think it was debatable, but
very debatable.
Debatable, but yeah, Nitty may have got that one. Like he is just super dope, and like he definitely got it in the building. I'm not sure how it translated on camera, but like his energy and reactions were way bigger. I can't remember like round for round, but
no.
I remember when Organic called me and was like, "Do you want to battle Rum Nitty?" I was like, "Oh, how the fuck do I write for Rum Nitty? Like I can't just write punchlines. His are going to be better."
Yeah.
So I did get an angle. Some people are calling it.
No,
like
your third
angle.
Your third is great. The King of the Dot backstabber idea, like.
Thanks. Yeah. I think that was a cool angle, and someone that's close to him told me that angle when they were drunk one time when I was with them. So I think it's a true angle. I admit, because some people were saying like, "Oh, that round didn't count because it may not be true because Rum's denying it."
Sure.
But someone that is close to him when they were drunk one time told me about it.
Okay.
So it leads me to believe that it might have had some truth to it. So I put it together in a round, but like the backstabber thing is kind of true. Like that angle was true where he started on King of the Dot and then, went to URL and then didn't really battle on King of the Dot for years after. So like that angle was, I think, very effective. So maybe I won, maybe I didn't, but like Nitty he's a beast. The fact that I didn't decisively get beat, I'm happy with.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's not like, it's a slightly different Nitty. Like, he's so energetic. He's got a real vicious kind of candor about him that I love. Like, he's just moving and, every second bar he's pulling the gun. Like, I love it. It's very, it just kind of, he can't help it. Like, and I love it. And yeah, you talk about the Cassidy stuff as well. And you do a lot of Simpson bars in your second, which throws me like some old school King of the Dot stuff. You do like 10 Simpson bars in a row, building up to you stole my idea. I'm flaming rum up like flaming rum up like a flaming mo, whatever it is, burning rum.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe that top battle rappers bite stuff because it just wouldn't make sense. But we had like the exact same bar. I just think it was a coincidence. It was the whole. Your girl is the biggest group. He gave the whole town dome like the Simpsons movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know what? I think that just happens, which is funny because I battled Rone and I said, "I'm here to fuck up your return like a squib kick." And Nitty said the same thing. And the weird thing is I actually watched Nitty vs. Surf and heard him say that bar, but it like just slipped my mind or something. But even when I showed people my material, and when I show, like, there's certain people I show my material, and one of the things is like, "Yo, stop me if this bar has been said before." And it's like top battle rappers I'm showing it to. Like, there's like 2 or 3 people that we run our material by, and none of them caught that either. So like just certain things, they slip your mind. So
You're
not
going to remember everything.
Did it.
Yeah, no, definitely not. No.
But I actually saw the battle and used it, which I was like kind of upset. I'm like, man, I heard him say that line, but it just slipped my mind.
Well, it's funny you mention that because just going back to the Big Cannon battle, his biggest reaction in the 4th round is something about see this bitch prevail like a marriage or whatever. And quite a lot of the comments, and I thought exactly the same thing when I watched the battle. Raptor said that line to him on Don't Flop. And it was probably the biggest part of the battle. So it's like, oh, did you just you know what I mean? But I know it's freestyle, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably panicking in the moment and was like, "Oh, I remember this bar. I like the prevail wordplay." So,
And maybe I missed something, but why were you wearing a suit in this battle?
Yeah, there was no gimmick behind it. I just got a suit sponsor that paid me and gave me a suit.
Fair
enough. So people were like, "Oh, I was disappointed. I thought you were going to do an angle about the suit." I'm like, "Nah, I got a suit sponsor."
Just on the suit. No, I love that. I love that there wasn't an angle. But you mentioned, the irony, because obviously you're in Massachusetts, the irony of Diz ducking you in the Middle East. Like, what's going on with that Diz battle? Because, you know, I remember, like, fucking old, maybe, like, 2013 episodes of Angry Fan Radio of you calling in and you offering, like, to put up all this money against Diz. Like, this has been going on forever, hasn't it, this battle? Like,
Yeah, it's cool, though. The longer it takes to happen, as long as both of us are on our game, like, the more anticipated it will be. So it's cool. Like, whenever it's meant to be, it'll happen. Like, I want him to want to do the battle. I don't want him to be like, oh, he keeps calling me out. Like, I'll take it. I want him to be like, okay, Charron literally keeps killing it. Like, keeps putting on solid performances. Like, I need to, you know, just as a man and a battler, I need to run in the fade for the battle. Because, like, if someone was gunning for me and was killing shit and, like, was actually, you know, a respected name and good, like, I'd have to eventually see them. Like, I couldn't just not battle A Ward forever because, you know, if he kept calling me out, he's worthy of it. So, you know, we'll see if he's inspired for it, and if not, like, there's still plenty of other battles for me to do.
No, definitely, but, you know, over here in the UK on Don't Flop or whatever, the dream match, and it's became this meme, it's became a cliche, but we want to see Shotty versus Lunacy. You know, everyone eventually wants to see that. I'm sure you want to see that as well. And surely on King of the Dot, it is Disaster versus Charron. I can't think of any other battle that people would want to see. Like the dream sort of Titan clash, you know?
It would it probably was like Diz versus Pat, but that's already happened.
Yeah, exactly. What's left? Like Charron versus Diz. I can't think of much else.
Yeah, I mean, if we did a poll, that would probably be the one. I think me and Rone was actually up there too for a while. Like, people really wanted to see me and Rone. But yeah, maybe me and Diz, or like Pat and Solomon or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you versus Diz more than Pat and Solomon, even though Pat and Solomon would be incredible. But I just think there's just, I don't know, I think the lineage of the history, and it's, no offense to you, but it is kind of a David and Goliath, isn't it? Just in terms of, like, how Diz is and how you are, like.
Yeah, man, Diz is explosive. Like,
yeah,
you know, he's really dope. Like, I think I don't think he's as consistent as a lot of the top people. I think he does put on sometimes a lot of sloppy performances, but when Diz is at his peak, he's pretty close to being unstoppable.
God. Yeah, no, definitely. And, you know, I want to talk about the Soulcon battle, but just before we get to that, you battled Chrome for Capital Rap Battles. I've got to be honest, the only thing I've seen is the thumbnail. I have not seen any of this battle. You know, I like Chrome. Chrome came over when Chalked Out and King of the Dot had that thing and battled Hulk, and I thought he was really good and got a chance to speak to him and stuff like that. How did this battle play out for you? This was in Canada, I assume.
Yeah, this was in my hometown of Ottawa. So I haven't battled in Ottawa. I think it was like 7 or 8 years or so. So it was pretty hyped up for, you know, my family, my friends, and just like hometown people coming. So we sold out the venue, and it was a dope battle. It was on CRB, which is like the local league there. And, you know, like, they've been trying to get me to battle there for like a few years, and I just kind of had a set price and said, you know, this is my price. And they said it was too high for them, and I just said, well, it's my price. And then they actually eventually got the money to put up for it, and they made money on the event because I told them, like, I'm going to sell out the venue here. It's my hometown. So, you know, sometimes you just got to stick to your price and know your worth. And it turned out good. Chrome killed it. But, like, he had no chance. Like, he's from Canada as well, but he's from Montreal.
Yeah, he's French Canadian, right? Am I right in thinking that?
He's French Canadian, and like, he was battling me literally in my hometown, and it's been years since I've battled, and I had a bunch of like high school friends, like family, just people in the town who are fans of me. So like, he didn't have a chance. Like, it just was, like, the crowd was really, even I kind of cringed watching a bit, like how biased the crowd was.
I'm gonna need to watch that now. I didn't realize that context. I'm definitely gonna check that out. So I mean, you know, big battle that we got to talk about now, you versus Rone. What was the background to this? Like, was there any rumblings, you know, back in the day, grind time, whatever, early King of the Dot, that you two were going to battle, or?
We're both, you know, white guys, you know, kind of got the nerdy voice, and our names are pretty much the same shit. Charron
They
and
are.
Rone.
They are, yeah.
So it was just a battle it was one of those battles that people are like, wait, this never happened before. Where, I mean, we did a freestyle battle, but over beats in a tournament, but that doesn't really count. But we never did a proper written battle, and it was just something that people wanted to see, and it kind of made sense at the time because we both branched out and did other things besides battle rap. So he was with Barstool, I was with Wild 'N Out, and it just kind of all came together. So it was a really crazy battle, and in my opinion, I really think it was Battle of the Year. Diz and Danny won, and it was really dope battle. But I think me and Rone definitely had the Battle of the Year.
I agree.
I think it.
Yeah.
I think it was really dope.
Yeah, no, I heard on Let's Talk Battle Rap, they said exactly the same thing, that they felt you guys should have won, and I concur, and I agree as well what you were saying before about the fact that both of you guys have battled for so many years on King of the Dot, but gone off into whole different directions.
Doesn't matter if you're GZ, I'm still supporting you, go to war with you. You want me, because MTV could do more for you. The Midget and Joker, you need a killer to open up doors for you. I have more money and still do this for fun. You're from Philly. You should know where your roots started from. Got a bone to pick with him. Look what you have become. On God, I'll make a bitch out of Adam. Genesis 2:21. To go.
Rome with Barstool and you with the movies that I mentioned before and Wild 'N Out and stuff like that. So just for a European English audience, can you just put into context, Barstool's a real big fucking deal, right?
Oh yeah, Barstool is huge. Is it not big out there?
It's not. It has no credence in the UK. Like, I know it because I'm a battle rap fan and I know Rone's involved and I've seen all the subscribers. But no, it's got no traction over here, really. No.
I would probably, if I had, I could be completely wrong, but I would probably maybe describe it to Unilad.
Yeah, that's fair.
For the UK. Mm-hmm. It's just like an online platform that's really popular, but it's more sports focused. So it's like. I personally don't watch it. I've seen some clips, but it's like Rone and other, I guess they're journalists. They go to sports games and they interview drunk college fans and get, they say funny things.
It's kind of got that sort of frat aspect to it, hasn't it? I suppose.
Yeah. It's like a frat boy vlog. I'm not a huge sports guy, but all my friends that I talk to back home that are sports fanatics, they know Barstool. It's definitely a big thing.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and it's kind of it's so cool to see people commenting on the King of the Dot videos, or being like, I'm here from Barstool, I'm here for Rone, who's this guy doing or whatever. And this event as well, you mentioned prior about World Dom and stuff, and there being this widening gap, but especially when this was announced, when this battle was announced, and when Soul Khan versus Diz was announced, people were like, King of the Dot is fucking back. You know what I mean? These were some marquee clashes.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw Soul come back.
Yeah.
Rone too, but it was a return for Rone, but I think he only took 2 years off, from when he battled Head Ice. So it wasn't I knew Rone was gonna be back in full form. He took 2 years off and he's performing every day, on doing interviews and content for Barstool. So I'm he's probably gonna be back better than ever. Soul Khan, I predict. You could see online, I said Soul Khan's going to shit the bed. Soul Khan, I don't know what he's done for the last 10 years, but he's not really making music from as far as I could gather. And his style was just so outdated. I just said, I don't think he's going to do well at all. And he actually did worse than I expected.
He did. But, in terms of this battle, I love the fact that you were referencing, because Rone had that merch, didn't he? That grandmother's favorite grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, I put this on Agnes and Bertha. Every grandma giving me this round, Werther's original. And, in the same way that Barstool hasn't came over to Europe, I didn't realise, to my ignorance, that Werther's original had crossed over the seas. Because there's so much American candy and Canadian candy that you do a Butterfingers bar, and us Brits are like, what's that? But I was like, you guys know about Werther's. Fair enough, Oh,
yeah. We every grandma has Werther's. Both my grandmas. They have Werther's, and do you know what Quality Street is?
Oh yeah, we love Quality Street over here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my grandma's been about Quality Street and Werther's. Like, that's all they got.
That's the street. That's the street they know, the Quality Street.
Yeah.
And I mean, your first is excellent. And how was it in the room as well? Because I really like the environment of Town Business too. Like, it was tight, it was close. There were loads of stars on either side. There was the crowd tiered. It seemed like the perfect kind of battle realm. Like.
Yeah, it was really dope. Like, it was just the way battle rap was supposed to be. Like, the event didn't run on too late. I mean, the last battle did, but besides that, like, it was a really well put together event. One of King of the Dot's best. And I love the way the battle turned out. I was really stressed about the battle because it had so much hype around it. Like, I had so many fans that are like, I've never bought a pay-per-view before, but I'm buying it just for you and Rone. Like, I hope it's good. I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I don't want to disappoint. Like, I know a lot of people, like, I feel like the expectations were so high for it that if it wasn't an amazing battle, then people would be like disappointed. If it was just like a decent battle, like if it was a good battle, I think people would be disappointed. Like, they wanted to see a great battle. So I felt like I had to, we both had to put on a great show.
And strategically as well, at the start of your first, you kind of put everything on the table. You talk about, autism and selling things door to door and K-Shine and Shotty Horror fucking you go. Like, I mean, like that was just like, that seemed like smart strategy to me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the 8 Mile shit, I see a lot of people didn't like it, but
yeah,
it is what it is. What it is. It didn't it didn't really connect too crazy live, at least, but some of the parts I liked it. Like, I knew what Rone was. I knew his whole third round was going to be a mixture of the door to door and the autism and the fusion between them. So I called that out in round one. It does not take away from what he did. Like, what he did was still amazing. I was just letting him know, like, I know what you're going to do. And it was also in hopes to, bring it up, and he hasn't battled in so long. I thought, like, there's a chance it could throw him off a bit if I say this is what he's going to do, and then maybe he second guesses his material. So it was a bit of like a chess move, but Rone just kept his composure and delivered it flawlessly.
Yeah, Rone was absolutely fantastic. Like, we did an episode about a year ago or so with Tim from Let's Talk Battle Rap. We did a history of the King of the Dot title, so we reviewed all the clashes. And, we were sort of ragging on Rone a little bit and being a bit negative, but I've got to say here, all 3 rounds, he's really sharp, he's just so charismatic, and he's just so present as well. Like, the fact that there's no ring rust, I know it's only been a few years, as you say, but still, people can be rusty after a few battles or a few, not high profile clashes, but he was there. Like, he really brought it to you.
Yeah, Rone absolutely killed it. And it was a classic battle, and I'm not really sure how to score it, but I'm pretty sure if they did a poll, Rone would win the poll. Like, I think the majority of people would probably vote for Rone just because, he absolutely killed it, and like, people were so hyped to see him battle because it's been a while, and the fact that he absolutely smashed it, makes it that much more exciting for the people to watch his performance. But, nothing but respect for him. He absolutely killed that, and like, it was just an honor to be a part of such a dope battle. Like, I have a lot of fans saying that's their favorite battle of all time. So
yeah,
whether or not people have him winning or me winning, just the fact that it's regarded as like an all-time classic, to me, that's just a win in general.
Because it's just like, you went at each other, like, you really sort of broke each other down. Like, it wasn't just something, you know what I mean? Like, we get the Sandusky stuff, we get he's got a physicist dad and the hypocrisy, and he goes on the side hustles, and it's like, you took chunks out of each other, like.
Yeah, it was a personal battle. We went at it, and, we did new angles, and then we did used angles, like, the autism angle and the door-to-door angle has been used. The Sandusky angle has been used, but like, we added new things to it, and like, it was cool. And then we had to play on like the Wildin' Out and the bar stool, so it was a dope battle. Like, it definitely is one of those battles that people are going to be watching, years after.
Absolutely. I think, like the Trez battle, which we'll get to, it's, even though it's very in-jokey, I think it's very accessible in the same way. Like, it's kind of one of those things where you want to know what they're talking about. It won't sort of go over your head. Like, you'll want to do a bit of digging. The Sandusky stuff that you mentioned. You mentioned Tech 9 as well, which, I mean, that just sort of course, is going to come into it. And, I love how you put your hand on his shoulder and you think I've never touched a pussy in the first and stuff like that. But, so Solcon versus Diz was straight after this, is that right?
Yeah, so we were the co-main event, and then Diz and Solcon was right after, and like I saw Diz in the crowd earlier, but I didn't see Solcon, and so he came out and he just looked defeated in the ring, like he was just looking at the floor. Yep. Like this is stuff you wouldn't see on camera because this was before the battle, before the camera was on, before it existed on YouTube and pay-per-view, but he just looked defeated. He was looking at the ground and pacing and did not look confident. And right away, I'm like, this is going to be a long night for Solcon.
Jeez. And whenever I mention Solcon on the show, I just want to hark back to a tweet that I saw. I've just found it from 2015. Joe Rogan tweeted Solcon out of nowhere. He just said, "Hey Solcon, I'm digging this song." He sent him the song Speeding Bullets. And, he never went on the show, but I always thought that was a cool interaction. But it is the longest battle of all time, isn't it? I think in terms of, like, performance.
That one or the Murder Mook and Aver battles.
The Murder Mook and Solomon, you mean? Or maybe maybe
Mook and Verb, because Mook went 20 minutes in his third round.
He did, actually, without any breaks. Like, yeah, so I mean, yeah, we'll have to double check exactly what the longest is. But I mean, as a fan, as someone who's been following this so long, look, I remember Big K tweeting when they dropped the card, him saying like, I'm actually excited for Battle Rap, like this is something that you can announce and that'll get me watching. Like, for something so hyped, what a letdown. The worst word I can volley at a battle is that it's boring, and it really was. It wasn't exciting to watch.
It wasn't, and like, I don't know if it was because Solcon was so bad, but a lot of like Diz's stuff wasn't that exciting to me. I think like the thing is, I think if Diz condensed his material and made each round 3 to 5 minutes and took out all its filler, I think he would have had an excellent performance. But he had a lot of filler in there too. Like he was going on for like 15-minute rounds and stuff, and it was too long.
It was too long, and it was a bit kind of perplexing, really, to watch that. But you were back battling pretty soon after.
If you was real, you would have kept an eye out for hands, Illuminati. But you disloyal. All you do is bail. How you gonna ditch King of the Dot for Smack when J Pro got you out of jail? Facts. Smack looking to sign him. J Pro's a lawyer. Cops look to indict him. King of the Dot helped him escape those bars, only for me to put you behind them. Every line's how you grab a 40 or clap a 40. I get it's wordplay, but you're a father. The only 40 that matters is your birthday. You want your son gang banging? Don't raise him in the worst way. The only time he should lash out with an extension is bring your kid to work day.
The Geechi battle, from what I gather, was just a few weeks after this. Is that right?
It was January 18th.
Yeah. So, because you mentioned in the battle that you do a defeat bar, but the reason you do it is just because you want to do the first defeat bar of the decade.
Yeah, I've never done a defeat bar before,
right? And
I was just like, I'm gonna do one, and it's a new decade, and I'm like, I just want to be the first person who did a defeat bar. So it was just like, it was just a joke.
And is Guardians of the Culture, which is the league that you battled on, is that the league that like robbed people's money in a subsequent event, or is that, I don't want to defame them, or is that another league?
Yeah, that's the league. That's the league. Really sure what the details are, but that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay. Because it seems like they early on had so many incredible events and putting together so many big names. And what I love about this battle in particular is that there's just so many people in the crowd. Obviously, Mac Myron jumps in on one of your verses, but, Clips is there, and Arsenal, and, A-Ward, and Don Marino, and stuff like that. And, battling Geechi then. Geechi, even more than Twork, he kind of has all the talent of Twork, but with the professionalism as well. And, no one's going to deny him when eventually they do the Champion of the Year that he's going to win it back-to-back. I can't think of any viable argument. So facing him, this must have, again, been quite an enticing proposition.
Yeah, like Geechi is one of my favorites too, and like he's just super dope in like every aspect of battle rap. Like he could actually freestyle and rebuttal, and then he has the street shit, and then his authenticity, like it just gives you that feel. Like when he says a bar, you're like, yeah, like I could picture that being true. Like Geechi just kind of gives you that feel. So he was definitely a huge challenge, and I was definitely motivated to battle him. And I knew it was going to be in a small room. Like there was going to be not that many people there. So, it was different for me. I like trying to rap and throw haymakers and kind of like get a huge crowd reaction. But I kind of prepared for this, like just rap and then, just deliver it like all the way through without waiting for reaction. So, yeah, it was a cool battle for sure, and I think a lot of people had me winning that one.
Oh yeah, you definitely won. I think you were too prepared. I think it's not that Geechi isn't good and he can carry it and he can flip and all this stuff, but you had your eyes on the prize, and I think that's clear. And like you just you clown on aspects of Geechi that deserve to be clowned on. Like I'm not saying I don't love his real talk third rounds. But, you talking about how his material's based on his homies dying, he's a terrible friend, and how, like, his mom calls him and says his cousin's dying, and he says, let me go grab a pen. I'll love this on Summer Madness 10. Just, like, I love that. And sometimes, Charron, like, people say you do a lot of pop culture references, which you do, that's a lifeblood of battle rap. But sometimes you'll make a reference where I'm like, why is he referencing that? I love that he's gone there, but I'm sure like 10 people in the room got this. Where white boy eating this rat like Tom Green in, what was it, Road Trip?
Yep.
Damn. Like, I remember that movie.
I just thought it was a dope, I just thought it was a dope bar.
And, the best way, well, not the best way, but one of the best ways to judge a battle is to see what the most upvoted bars are in the comments. What's got like for, and people were all talking about how you killed Shug and Gotti, go through 3 seasons a day, like I'm binge watching, like.
Yeah, that was
inspired.
Yeah, I didn't it's funny because that wasn't one that I expected to pop off as much. Like I thought it was just a good bar, but it was definitely my most quoted bar of the battle. Like I thought, like when I was doing my bars, I'm like the whole scheme where I said like, because of you, LAPD bought the app, start watching Smack. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be the most quoted bar. Like I think that's my best one. It probably was like my second or third, but the binge watching one, people like love that bar, and to me, I just thought it was like kind of a reach, and I'm like, is this good? But people loved it. no, I loved it as well. And shout out Cameron Gray, we are live streaming this, so guys, if you're listening, if you've got any questions for Charron, let us know. We'll get to the end of the episode. Cameron donated £5, thank you so much, saying Sol Khan's Bernie speech aged horribly. That 2020 vision wasn't on his side. I mean, that was just one of the things that aged horribly, right? Yeah, he also made a Kobe tweet not too long ago. Like, I guess
he did. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A few months ago, and had to delete his Twitter. I don't know if he's back on now, but it's just I don't know, man. Like, I find some people like that, social justice warriors. I find they're bullies, and they're trying to bully everyone else. Like he was trying to say, like Kobe's a rapist. Like. I'm going to be a white cape and stand up for women, but like in doing so, he's actually the bully. Like he's putting down a legend, like some people's hero and stuff.
Yeah.
And in a case where, he wasn't even convicted. Like he beat the case. So it's kind of irrelevant.
Exactly, yeah. And, you go on a lot of cool angles in this battle as well. You talk about the fact that Geechi had liked this supposed underage girl's profile or whatever. Bad baby. When they're born in 2003, you can see it in their eyes. And the idea of him and Tech Nine hanging around a playground, and he's like, that third grader, bigger Nine. I mean, it's very like it's like pitch black dark material, but like it works. Like,
yeah, I knew the Tech Nine stuff. I knew it would just be like quiet gas. But to me, I'm just like, that shit's dark and it's funny. Like,
no, you've got to plow that furrow. And I thought it was interesting that, you know, on Geechi's first champion run, when he deservedly won it, everyone, you know, the thorn in his paw was A-Ward, and people were harking back to that battle, and he lost that battle and stuff. And it was nice that he got a little A-Ward diss at the end, like, you're the corniest white guy in the room, and A-Ward's here. Like, I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, that kind of just came full circle. So it was dope. Like, all in all, I was really happy with the Geechi battle.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the Geechi battle's fire, and then we get the penultimate battle then is versus Street Hymns, but this is the social distance idea. ARP just reached out, and what I loved was ARP has done all these battles, but the focus has not only been on the battlers, the clashes, but how creative can you get with your footage, you know?
Right, yeah, I completely misunderstood the idea when he hit me up about it. I thought it was just like you spit your bars to a camera or whatever, and you know, I just put it together quickly and, you know, did it like selfie take, just recorded it myself, and then I saw what people were doing, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed. And Street Hymns just with the visual absolutely slaughtered me. So I mean, it's not, I wouldn't count it as a real battle because it was like an online, like text battle almost, you know, but just with rapping. But yeah, Street Hymns' visual was insane. So, I mean, if I do another one, I kind of get the feel of it now. Yes. It's more about the visual instead of just rapping to a camera.
Yeah. But I mean, people check that out. Yeah. So it's just like you're like on a Skype call as we are now, and then he's got like an actual white guy with a mask at his door, and that, you know.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He went.
He roasted me.
Yeah. He went crazy on that, and you know, obviously check out all the RB stuff that they've been putting out over there. It's really, really good work. So the final battle. This battle just came out about 2 weeks ago. It's currently at 350k, and it's going to climb and climb. People are talking about this as being one of the battles of the year. You know, you're a freestyle guard. Trez is on that same parapet, like he's there with you. Am I right in thinking, again, I'm pretty sure I heard you on Angry Fan or Black Compass or something, saying you wanted to battle Trez, you were looking for that battle?
Yeah, because, like, just in the fact that I try to find cool matches that work for me. I knew me and Geechi and Twork is like a match that you don't know how it's going to turn out. Like, we're polar opposites, so it could be good or it could be bad. But like, me and Rone were similar. Me and Big Cannon are similar. Me and Trez are similar. And like, I just noticed that like the Rone battle was really good. The Cannon battle was really good. Me and DNA battled, 6-7 years ago. That was really good. So I'm like, I need to find another rebuttaler. And Trez, I mean, if you're looking for a rebuttaler, look no further, right? Like, Trez is one of the best at it.
I mean, that's his thing, isn't it? 3 of them things. Like, people know him to rebuttal, like, even more than any other battler, it seems.
Yeah, like, he's a legend at the rebuttals. And my kind of whole angle throughout pretty much the whole battle was he needs to rebuttal. Like, that's the only thing he can do. If it wasn't for that, like, people wouldn't really rate him. So I was trying to, do my rebuttals too. And I'm like, I'm going to have to do more than 3 of them things and like hit him with more rebuttals than he does. And then like kind of school him when I'm rapping too. Like, like I don't need to rebuttal, but like, I actually have good written material too, but he has good written material too. But that was just kind of like the theme and the angle for it that I wanted to attack.
I mean, it's battle of the year so far for me, and I know 2012 is gonna 2012. I know 2020 is gonna be, it's gonna be a weird year, isn't it? Because we effectively got a couple of months of real battle rap, and then it's sidelined to the rest. But this works in your favor. It had a kind of WRC scribble vibe to me. I don't know if you felt that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did, and it was like in Atlanta, which was cool. So it was like WRC in the hood. Like it was really dope. Like it just, it was really, really fun throughout the 3 rounds, and then the 4th round, it just like I don't think it could have turned out any better if we scripted it. Like, it just was so natural, and like the crowd was screaming RBE at the end of it. So like they loved it.
Oh yeah, and ARP, I love his interactions with the crowd. I mean, he does say the term classic a little too much for my liking, but I love when he says applaud if you feel you got your money's worth, and you get a fucking encore, which is just makes you really happy as a fan, because you're clapping at home sort of thing. There was a really funny YouTube comment. I think it was on Reddit, and it was, if Marie Kondo showed up at my house tomorrow, the fourth from this battle will be the last thing to go. And it's like the fourth round in this clash. Like, obviously, it's Charron versus Trez. It's a freestyle fourth. You know it's going to pay off. But just that raw energy, like you say, where you don't know what's going to happen. It's pure improv. It's just electric.
Yeah, it really... Yeah, you pretty much broke it down. It really was just electric, and like the feel in the room was really there, and it translated to camera, but like live was like the energy was real different.
So that is the last battle then. We've covered quite a lot in this episode. Like but the UK, Europe, like, I know everything's off the table at the moment, but are there plans to eventually battle? Because when was the last time? Oh, it was A-Ward, wasn't it? So it was like about, not that long ago. But is there any ideas to come back to a UK league in the future, or?
Yeah, I mean, I signed a contract a couple days ago for my next battle. It's not going to be till next year, but it's
okay.
It's going to be in Ireland.
Oh, okay. Wrap this full.
That's probably as much as I'm allowed to say, but I think they're going to announce it soon, to be honest. So.
Okay. And I mean, don't give it away. But are you battling a European battler, or are you battling someone overseas?
Yeah. I don't know if
we don't want to give it away.
The person I'm battling isn't North American. I'll just say that.
Okay, yeah. Let's not. Shout out Rory and Matt over there. We don't want to give away the goat, but that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy that you're coming over there. That's so good. So
I'm sure they don't mind me, kind of throwing in a little hint, so people are hyped about it. But I think they're going to announce it soon. It's going to be in Ireland. It's going to be early. It's funny. It's the only contract I've ever had where like they had like so many dates, because they're like, it could be this, that. It depends with COVID. So they're like, yeah, exactly. You have to be able to reschedule to these few, like, this is the dates we're going to try depending on, potential travel bans or whatever happens, right? So hopefully it happens, because we don't know what's going to be the case next year.
Okay, so as I said before, we're on live stream, so we'll just do a few quick-fire questions. People have been leaving a few as we've been chatting, and shout out to everyone for listening. So let's have a look. Josh is saying, what's your dream battle if it's not already happened?
Probably Diz.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, Hollow? Is Hollow in that sphere, maybe?
Yeah, I'd like to battle Hollow, Surf, Diz, Solomon, Big K. I think those would be dope.
You've still got a few, haven't you? Even though you've been battling for so many years, there's still a couple of top tier names that would be amazing matchups.
Yeah, a lot of people want to see me versus Ilmac. It's funny, we both kind of spoke and like don't really care to do the matchup. I don't know. I don't really see it being like that good. I think it would be one of those where like it looks cool on paper, but it wouldn't end up being that good. So, but that's another possibility too.
Okay. Tom saying, who's Charron's favorite UK battler?
I like a lot of UK battlers. I mean, obviously my two, like Lunar and Shoddy. I know it's a generic answer, but like fair. Shoddy for his just like aggressive rapping style, and then Lunar for his jokes and wittiness. But I mean, I also love Kruger is one of my favorites. O'Shea is always hilarious to watch. Man, there's a lot. Raptor I like a lot too.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Like
that's fair, yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the UK scene. Like, it's Don't Flop around. Like, what's the platform now?
Yeah, Don't Flop's still here. I mean, Premier Battles are a bit more professional with the upload schedule and the big events and stuff. But yeah, us still putting on stuff and building and but yeah, it's been a long time since we've had like the events you used to battle on.
Yeah. Oh, and Soul too. Obviously,
Oh, of
Soul's
course,
amazing.
Soul. Of course, Soul.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of talent out there. Like the UK is super, super talented, man. And I kind of wish they had like more consistent events. I would definitely watch them. I just haven't heard of many UK events besides Premiere.
Josh saying favorite city or country you've battled in?
Ooh, let me think.
You're global, like you've been so many places.
I really like the crowd in Houston. So I battled Scotty, but I also watched the URL event out there, and I thought the Houston crowd was excellent. So I'm gonna say Houston for America. And favorite place I've battled. I mean, there's been a lot, but I'd have to say the Philippines.
That was that was so good that you went out there. Like,
yeah, went out there. R.I.P. Bender. Like we rolled out there. Me, him, Pesci, and who else was there? Tantrum was there too. And like, it was crazy. Like I think that has like 7 million views or something. I still get messages from people in the Philippines, and it must be a term, but they all say, "Hey, idol," like IDOL. Like, I guess that's just like what they say. And they're like, when you coming back to the Philippines? And like, I remember being out there and no one knew really, like some people knew who we were from battle rap, but I was wearing a flip top shirt. Enigma gave it to me the day before, and like I was being surrounded by people like, are you a flip topper? And I was like, no, like I'm a battle rapper from Canada. They're like, oh, you're a Canadian flip topper. It's like I think they call it like flip topper instead of rap battler. So, and like Enigma was just getting harassed like he was Drake out there. Like there was lineups of like 20 people like in the not even like near the battle event, like the day before, people lining up taking pictures with them. We went to a convenience store to get some like water or something, and like there was flip top DVDs being bootlegged in the store.
Unbelievable. That is
and he was like, got into like an argument with the guy like, that's my content, because I guess like I don't know, but maybe some people can't afford the internet there. I don't know how it works, but like there's bootlegs, so I don't know why there would be bootlegs. Maybe some people don't have access to the internet, but it was like being bootlegged in the stores, which was like mind blowing.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I've just found it now. You versus Ato, which is the first subtitle battle. 6.8 million views, which obviously bootlegs probably double that. And there's a comment on saying, on all YouTube videos, anyone in 2019 watching, and it's got 750 views, so it's likes. So it's like, people are over there going and going and going. So I think that's a fair thing that you went over there. Let's see what other people are saying finally. Fridge says, have you ever considered or accepted a battle with Shuffle T or Marlowe?
Oh, yeah, has that ever happened? I mean,
you need to battle Shuffle and like some freestyle thing. Like, that has to happen.
Yeah. No, of course I would battle them. They're hilarious. I can't remember if I've ever been offered a battle with them. Maybe did one time. It's possible, but I think it would be a cool 2-on-2 thing too, or just a 1-on-1. But yeah, I would definitely battle.
Who would you take?
I think.
Who would you take as your opponent though if you were battling Shufflo?
Oh,
Pat, maybe. I mean, they've kind of battled already.
I don't know. I don't think I would win either way. Shufflo's just really good. I don't know, like, even a 1-on-1 against them, I don't know. Like, they're just too creative. Like, I don't know. They're I'm huge fans. Like, I would probably predict them, either one of them, beating me in a battle. They're just so funny and creative.
No, they are. So yeah, that wraps up. I mean, this has been great going through all these battles, and thank you again for coming on the show. I guess finally, what about yourself? Is there anything you'd like to promote, like your Instagram, your Twitter, etc.?
Yeah, just mostly Instagram, Charron, KOTD. Just hit me up there, and just want to say thanks to anyone that's listening. Thanks to all the battle rap fans, even the battle rap haters, anyone that's just watching, and salute to Tom for having me on. Like I said, definitely my favorite interviewer. Like, you do so much research, and I could tell you're just a huge fan of the culture. So, it's always a pleasure to come on every year or two and just catch up on the battle. So it's always a good time.
No, it's honestly great to have you. Like, I just asked you on a whim yesterday, and you said you were free the next day, and I just put the notes together. And we'll definitely have to check in a year or so when this is all cleared up globally and discuss your your island battle and stuff like that, and all that other stuff. I don't want to give it away, but
hot air balloon battles, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to see you battle Laugh and Stalk, actually. I think you guys would face off well. I think that would be a good match.
That would be funny. He's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he's a genius. So yeah, guys, as always, follow us at Battle Rap Resume, subscribe to the channel. We've got the Patreon. If you enjoy the show and want to get back to the show, you get access to episodes like this, a couple of weeks before they drop on the main channel. iTunes is there. Check us out on Spotify. Check out my pun podcasts, Pun It as well, the competitive wordplay game show. But Charron, genuinely, thank you so much for coming on. This has been great.
Hey, man, appreciate it. Salute.